Welcome to Bloodstained Stories, where we dive deep into the dark and gripping world of true crime. I'm your host, Joseph, and today we're uncovering one of the most infamous corporate frauds in history, the Enron Scandal. In the early 2000s, Enron Corporation, once a titan in the energy sector, was exposed for massive accounting fraud that led to its shocking collapse. This scandal not only wiped out billions in shareholder value but also devastated employees and pensioners. Join me as we explore the rise and fall of Enron, the intricate web of deceit spun by its executives, and the far-reaching impact of their greed and corruption. Are you ready to journey into the heart of true crime? Let's get started. In the annals of corporate history, the Enron scandal stands out as a glaring example of corporate greed, fraud, and betrayal. Once a darling of Wall Street, Enron Corporation's spectacular downfall in 2001 exposed a web of deceit that led to the largest bankruptcy in American history at the time. The scandal not only shattered the lives of employees and investors, but also shook public confidence in corporate governance and financial regulations. Enron was founded in 1985 through the merger of Houston Natural Gas and Internorth, becoming one of the largest energy companies in the world. Under the leadership of CEO Kenneth Lay, and later Jeffrey Skilling, Enron transformed from a traditional energy supplier into a high-flying trading giant, dealing in energy futures, broadband, and even weather derivatives. Enron's rapid rise was fueled by its aggressive use of complex financial instruments and partnerships to hide its debt and inflate its earnings. The company touted its innovative business model and consistent revenue growth, earning it acclaim from investors, analysts, and the media. Enron's stock price soared, making it a staple of many investment portfolios. Behind the facade of success, Enron's executives were orchestrating one of the most elaborate corporate frauds in history. The company used a series of accounting loopholes, special purpose entities, SPEs, and off-balance sheet transactions to conceal its mounting debt and liabilities. These tactics allowed Enron to appear more profitable than it actually was, misleading investors and regulators. Central to this deception was Andrew Fastow, Enron's chief financial officer, who created numerous SPEs, such as LJM and Raptor, to offload Enron's debt while generating false profits. These entities were presented as independent, but in reality, they were controlled by Enron, with Fastow and other executives personally profiting from these arrangements. The unraveling of Enron began in 2001, when analysts and journalists started questioning the company's opaque financial statements and lack of transparency. In August 2001, Jeffrey Skilling abruptly resigned as CEO, citing personal reasons, which further fueled suspicions. By October, Enron announced a massive $618 million third-quarter loss and a $1.2 billion reduction in shareholder equity, stemming from the off-balance sheet deals. The tipping point came in November 2001 when Enron admitted it had overstated earnings by nearly $600 million since 1997. The revelation triggered a crisis of confidence among investors and led to a precipitous decline in Enron's stock price. On December 2, 2001, Enron filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, marking the largest corporate bankruptcy in U.S. history at that time. The fallout from Enron's collapse was immediate and widespread. Thousands of employees lost their jobs and life savings, and investors faced massive financial losses. The scandal prompted multiple investigations by federal agencies, including the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the Department of Justice, and Congress. The investigations revealed a culture of greed and corruption at the highest levels of Enron's management. Fastow, Skilling, and Lay were indicted on charges of fraud, insider trading, and conspiracy. Fastow struck a plea deal, agreeing to testify against his former colleagues in exchange for a reduced sentence. The accounting firm Arthur Andersen, Enron's auditor, was also implicated in the scandal. Andersen was found guilty of obstructing justice by shredding documents related to Enron's audit, leading to the firm's demise. The trials of Enron's top executives were high-profile events that captivated the public. In 2006, Jeffrey Skilling and Kenneth Lay were found guilty on multiple counts of fraud and conspiracy. Skilling was sentenced to 24 years in prison, though his sentence was later reduced. Lay died of a heart attack before he could be sentenced. Andrew Fastow received a 6-year sentence, significantly reduced due to his cooperation with prosecutors. Many other Enron executives and employees were also charged and convicted, reflecting the extensive nature of the fraud. The Enron scandal had profound implications for corporate governance and financial regulation. It led to the passage of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in 2002, which introduced stringent reforms to improve the accuracy and reliability of corporate disclosures and to protect investors from fraudulent accounting activities. The act imposed stricter regulations on auditing practices and increased penalties for corporate fraud. The scandal also underscored the need for greater accountability and transparency in corporate America. It served as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked corporate greed and the importance of ethical leadership. The Enron scandal is a chilling tale of corporate malfeasance and the devastating impact of fraud on employees, investors, and the broader financial system. It highlights the critical need for vigilance, transparency, and integrity in business practices. The legacy of Enron endures as a cautionary tale of how the pursuit of profit at any cost can lead to catastrophic failure. It remains a powerful example of the necessity for robust regulatory frameworks and ethical corporate governance to safeguard the interests of all stakeholders. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bloodstained Stories as we delved into the catastrophic Enron scandal. If you found this deep dive into one of history's most notorious corporate frauds compelling, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps us bring more in-depth true crime stories to you. Follow us on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes content. Have a theory or a case you'd like us to cover? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the mysteries of the true crime world.